外流島羊の国
I know you. Heard you were tough. Think fast.
Welcome. I'm Force of Nature, and this is Top Tier Tips. In this session, we're going to be taking a look at the poster boy of the Samurai Showdown series, Haohmaru.
Hey!
Haohmaru is a very unusual character in SoulCalibur 6. I mean, at face value, he seems like a regular kind of like pokin, kind of like footsie-based character, but the way how he's unusual in SoulCalibur 6 is in the sense that he has his special moves, such as like his Fireball, like his Cyclone Slash, he has his DP, his Crescent Moon Slash, he has like his Earthquake Slash right there. So he has but he basically brought in a bunch of his special moves from Samsho, and he even has his super special move, his Judgment Blade Slash. But in here, it's just a regular CE, so it's not the incredibly ridiculously powerful move that it is in Samsho. So it is balanced for SoulCalibur 6. But with that said, because of just his, he also has kind of like a cancel mechanic and stuff like that, where you can cancel into special moves and stuff like that. So Haohmaru is just a very weird character to learn SoulCalibur 6 with. I mean, in terms of general gameplay, he's somewhat straightforward, but when you combine his 2D mechanics with his 3D mechanics, that's where he becomes a very awkward character to learn SoulCalibur 6 with. But in general, how you're going to be wanting to play Haohmaru is just simply, again, just playing it like a straightforward Pokken game. Like you have your AA, your BB, your 6B, your 66A, your 66B, so those are all a bunch of decent moves in 6A. But what you're looking for is anytime when the opponent ends up whiffing something very linear, for instance. Now what you want to do is sidestep and then end up hitting your B plus K. Your B plus K is your heavy slash button. This is equivalent to Haohmaru's 5C. 5Cs are incredibly powerful, devastating moves, and as you can see right here, Haohmaru's B plus K does tremendous damage. It does 70 damage from relatively close, and if you can hit it around tip range, you get a little less, 45, 46. But he also has his 2 B plus K, or his crouch B plus K. And that one also does a lot of damage. So any time that the opponent leaves an opening, you want to smack him with those moves. Naturally, you don't want to be too trigger happy with the heavy slash moves, because if your move gets blocked, then you see Haohmaru has his own special recoil state called the stagger state. So basically, when this move gets blocked, it leaves you quite vulnerable. Or really, let me just show you a little something. So basically, if this move gets blocked, you still have access to your Ronin techniques or your Ronin cancels afterwards. So you end up, when you're in the stagger state, think of it as a bit of a mind game on block. On paper, you're massively unsafe that you can actually be physically punished. However, although you can't guard, you still could free cancel into your special moves. So for instance, you could DP the opponent to be able to thwart their punishment attempt. So it is a really weird state, and there's no equivalent to this in SoulCalibur 6. But before I go on, I just want to thank Smart Esports and Trollcoin for endorsing this video. And as always, if you like this video, smash that like button. If you like this video, just hit the like button anyway, and don't forget to subscribe for more juicy 3D fighter content. I also want to take this moment to thank my premium top tier fighters for their continued support, which I do appreciate. If you'd like to become a premium top tier fighter yourself, click on the Patreon link down below.
No getting away!
In close range with Haohmaru, you want to place this move on block. This is B6 or B4. This move comes out quite fast, and it is advantage on block. So similar to placing a normal break attack on block, like an A plus B. Like you see right here, A plus B ends up it's another move that gives you quite a bit of an advantage on block. But B6, well, it keeps you closer to the opponent, and it's just a high that comes out quite fast, and there's generally not much reason to not throw this out whenever you have an opportunity to do so. When you do end up putting this on block, then it gives you enough advantage to be able to keep up your pressure. For instance, you could use a 6B. You could use 6B forward after, and then you go into Haohmaru's special stance called Warrior's Focus. And out of Warrior's Focus, you can go for BA for the low option, so low mid option, or you can end up going for the BA option out of Warrior's Focus, and then you get a mid-high option. So right there's a mid-low mix-up out of the Warrior's Focus stance off of 6B, for instance. Other stuff that you can do after this is that you can also just poke the opponent with a low with 1k. Similar to 6k. 6k, unfortunately, is a special low. So what special low means, it can be blocked, stand-in, or crouch. So if you wanna low to try and open up the opponent, that's where 1k ends up coming into play. After a B6, you can also use Haohmaru's throws to keep the opponents off balance. Despite being a katana wielder, Haohmaru doesn't really particularly excel in close range. I mean, generally with Haohmaru, you probably want to be fighting around mid-range. Like, he's not quite a long-range fighter, even though, yeah, he can fight at long range. Like I said before, he does have a projectile, but Haohmaru generally likes being around mid-range, mid to long, but because this in close range, it just feels like he might come off like feeling like a little limited. Well, for instance, with regards to like some moves that you can use in close, just like little pokes, you have stuff like 2A, 2B. If you take a look right here, both 2A and 2B are, well, they're both considerably fairly short ranged, but both of them are special. Well, a special low and a special mid, so that means that both of them can be blocked, stand-in, or crouching. So if you want a real low, you have 2K, which is, and 2Ks are usually negative on hit. So your frame advantage low will be 1K. There's also 2K, but this move it does not crouch, and it is stand-in still a special low. So this is just, I don't know, just a little chip move from stand-in. But in that case, you might as well do like an AA or a BB instead. But with regards to that, I will give a warning that Haohmaru's AA and BB are slower than average. Like, standard AAs and BBs are usually 12 frame AA, 14 frame BB, but with Haohmaru's AA, I think is as slow as like 14 frames. Like, his AA and BB are fairly slow for what at first glance looks like a close range fighter. So with regards to speed and close, you don't really have like the best moves for close range like combat. I mean, he still has his 12 frame standing K, but it's just like these only do like little poke damage, and this doesn't really accentuate like Haohmaru's strengths or anything like that. But just for like some more moves that you could do in close, this is 3A and to put him in a crouching state. So this is a horizontal mid and puts Haohmaru in crouching. So you could set up like your while rising moves, like there's while rising K, while rising B. I'll just let you know his while rising B. This move's also another one of his what Ronin cancel moves. So similar to like 6A or 6B, while rising B is another move that can also cancel into either like three different options right here. Like there's an A option, there's a B option, and there's a K option. So while rising B is a good while rising move for when you do have to poke in close range. Your go-to punisher from crouch, let's say for instance if the opponent is whiffing a high on you, will be your 2B plus K or crouching B plus K. Alright, it doesn't launch the opponent, but he still gets solid damage at 45. So Haohmaru doesn't quite have a while rising launcher like most characters have, but 2B plus K and a full crouch B plus K still does solid damage. But keep in mind also that it is fairly slow, so it is used to again punish whiffed highs. Oh, and 2B plus K can also punish whiffed throws with a lethal hit. Your go-to low sweep will be 1A. It's fairly slow tracking low, but it just serves its purpose. If you want a quick poke in close, you also have 3K. So this right here is a quick mid to go along with your standard B. And if you want to create a little bit of space while in close range, you can use Haohmaru's 4A. This right here, he just smacks the opponent in the mid with his sake bottle. So as you see right here, he takes a step back, and it ends up like creating a little space. So you can use this as like basically a little poke just to put yourself into mid-range, generally where Haohmaru would rather be than close range. From mid-range, Haohmaru is a little bit more comfortable. So now your go-to poke will be 6B. Alright, I already showed you earlier that 6B, if you press forward, so 6B6, you go into the warrior's focus stance, and then you can enforce your low-mid mix-up. Other moves that you can use is 6A is pretty good, or if you want something with a little bit more range, you have 6A, but it's a little slower, but both of them are good horizontal horizontal attacks. All right, 6A already showed you before. You have like three options. So you have your track and high. You have your mid with B, and then you have kind of like an overhead like move with the K. So the A again is the track and high. So other moves you can use there. Right? From mid range, you can still use 1A as basically a track and low. Like if you're out of 1K range, for instance, then you can try and sneak in 1A. But in general, 6B is going to be your go-to mid. It's going to be your go-to poke in general for mid range. You can, along with 6A, you can also get in with 6B. I mean, yeah, 6A is a horizontal mid, where 6B is a vertical, which of course can be sidestep. But 6B allows you to cancel into like a similar three options. So you have the A option, horizontal high, the B option, which is Haohmaru's DP-like move, his Crescent Moon Slash. It's just simply 6-6-BB. And an interesting one is 6-6-BK right here. You get this body check. Does the same damage as if you were to hit 6-6-BB. So this move ends up keeping the opponent standing. So I mean, like, in particular, I do like that. Happen to like that option. And of course, if you so desire, you can also get in on the opponent by just simply punching them in the face with 6-6-K. The yeah punch. At long range, Haohmaru can pressure the opponent with the 6A plus B, the Cyclone Slash. So right here, that's his projectile. It goes really far. It's pretty much like a full screen projectile, unless you do it like literally at the opposite end of the screen. That, see right there, goes like really far, ends up knocking the opponent over, and then you can end up like trying like sneaking either a low or sneaking the B plus K, or just simply use it as an opportunity to just get in the opponent and try and like get some like pressure going. But yeah, naturally having a projectile is really nice in the game. So that means that when you're at long range, the opponent has to respect it. Because I mean, also if these moves get blocked, if the Ronin techniques, also just known as simply just 2D fighters special moves, get blocked and they do deal chip damage. And another thing I'll let you know, I'm inputting the Cyclone Slash with 6A plus B, so this is just a standard one. If you were to input it, for instance, with quarter circle forward, so I just do quarter circle forward A, you actually get a little, as you see right there, you get a little bit more damage. You get 26 damage as opposed to 22 damage. So think of this as like a technical command. Like how in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus there's technical commands. So the technical commands in this give you higher damage. You don't have to worry about cooldowns or anything in SoulCalibur 6. But if you just do the easier command, then it's like whatever. It's easier to do on reactions, since reactions is a big thing in SoulCalibur. So simply doing either version is perfectly fine. I mean, if you can do the technical command on a whim, then that's good also. And also another thing, if you perform quarter circle forward, so 2-3-6K, you end up getting a feint like so, right there. So that's Haohmaru's signature Cyclone Slash feint. So basically, if you're afraid the opponent might end up like basically dodging that move, then you can end up like using the feint to keep yourself from being unsafe. At range, moves you can use to try and like just kind of like get in on the opponent or try and keep them on their toes. Is stuff like Haohmaru's 4-4-A. Right here, back A. So right here, he rolls into a horizontal mid slash. You can fake it out by doing 4-4-A, then press guard. And Haohmaru ends up kind of like faking out the opponent, so you end up using it as just like a bit of like a roll-in. And talking about roll-in, Haohmaru also has his jump-in attack. His when I say jump-in, I mean jump in. So basically 4-4-K. This one is a jump-in mid-kick. And if it hits an opponent that's crouching and actually can cause a lethal hit. Although this is a slow linear move, but this is, I don't know, Haohmaru's a 2D character, so he has jump-ins. If the opponent whiffs anything, then you can punish with like 6-6-BB for a knockdown. Or 6-6-BK if you want to like try and keep up pressure on the opponent. And of course, if the opponent whiffs anything big around like mid-ish range, then B plus K will ruin their day. Oh, and a dirty thing that you can do with Haohmaru if you were to whiff punish someone or just simply hit someone with 6-6-B, it can combo into Haohmaru's critical edge. To drain your opponent's guard stamina and run up the guard gauge with Haohmaru, you can use moves like 6B is great. It does a lot of guard gauge damage. Like 9% is pretty good damage for a poke. And to top it off, if you end up going into if you end up going into the warrior's focus stance and do warrior's focus B, so 6B, then right here you end up doing like a lot Like right there, you just did 17. You just did 17 guard gauge damage, like right there, just off that. All right, other moves that you can use is like 6-6 BK, 8A plus B is okay, and you can also use the heavy slashes. Like they do a lot of guard gauge damage, but of course you end up having to play the kind of mind game on well once you get staggered. Oh, I'll just add another thing with that. Right here, this is quarter circle forward 8 plus B. This is Haohmaru's own personal deflect guard impact move. During the stagger, you can perform this move and reflect the opponent's move. I mean, add into the mind game even more. So this is a pretty good move, even though I'll go over like more GI related stuff like a little later. The Cyclone slash 6A plus B projectile is good if the opponent blocks it. Like it does decent on guard gauge damage and has a bit of pushback, and as you see right there, also deals a bit of chip damage. So if you can get the opponent to block it, then it's good, even though it's mainly just a once in a while type of range poke. I know the opponent's likely going to be sidestepping to avoid it, but if it does get blocked, it is beneficial for you. Oh, and also, if in close range, Wall Rising B is also good for grinding up the guard gauge, and just like 6-6B or 6A, for instance, it has the cancel follow-ups too. With regards to breaking an opponent's guard, the same moves that you use to run up the guard gauge are also good to break it with. Like 6B is great, 6-6B is good. You can also use 3B. Of course, the heavy slashes break it. So I mean, there's like a bunch of moves you can do. I mean, like 6B is just a great move in general. After a guard burst, follow up with a B plus K heavy slash for solid damage. Haohmaru's throw game is fairly okay. For instance, I'll just show you his neutral throw right here. His A plus G gives you 50 damage. His 4 A plus G ends up also giving you 50 damage. His left side throw gives him a strong 65 damage, and now his right side throw gives him 59 damage, knocks the opponent far away, and also recovers some of his health and guard stamina, so that's a pretty interesting throw. And now for Haohmaru's back throw. Also gives a solid 65 damage, and if I'm not mistaken, if you end up KOing an opponent with an unarmed move, then the next time you use that throw, you end up getting a lethal hit. So that's like the weirdest condition ever. Alright, I'll just let you know that with regards to his unarmed stance, yes, Haohmaru has an unarmed stance. You can input it with 4 B plus K. And right here, and you have a few options right here. I mean, if you press forward, you'll roll. So you have that A option, that's your horizontal mid. If you do your K option, then you have a quick sneaky low. And if you press the B option, then you just punch the opponent in the face, a lot like 6-6K. So I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this stance, although it's some more options out of it. I mean, if you press B plus K in this stance, you actually can do a resist impact out of it. But in general, I kind of prefer having my sword, so yeah, it's just not a huge fan of the unarmed stance. Haohmaru has a couple unique throws to him, which are reminiscent of his throws from Sam Show, and that's just simply if you hold down A plus G, you just simply throw the opponent in front of you, and if you do 4 A plus G, just simply hold it down, then you throw on the other side of here. Just to give you a little background, throws in Sam Show don't do damage. They give you frame advantage that allow for guaranteed follow-ups, and these throws are no exception. You get a free 6-6B follow-up after this. So for instance, you can do like 6-6BB, or like 6-6BK for instance, and you get like 45 damage. So you can keep up the pressure. You could even just do like a single 6B or like, I think you might even be able to do like 6B. You can get a little creative, but generally if you are going to use those throws, then just do like 6-6BB or something like that. If you were to do the back throw version, since you're hitting the opponent in the back, you actually get a little extra damage. Let me try this again. Right there, you get 50 damage as opposed to 45 damage, and of course this throw switches sides. When you have the opponent at the wall with Haohmaru, you're going to wall slam with stuff like good old 3B. And you can also wall slam with any kind of like variation of like his like DP move. So including stuff like 6-6BB. Haohmaru is one of the more interesting meter-based games in SoulCalibur 6. For instance, let's take a look at its critical edge. Alright, the Judgment Blast Slash inputted with A plus B plus K is Haohmaru's critical edge. However, if you input the technical command, which is 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 2, 1, B plus K, you'll get the critical edge, but with additional damage. For instance, this is A plus B plus K. It'll net you about 74 damage. However, if you were to input the technical command, for instance, then you'll get about 81 damage, so you get a little extra damage. However, it's your choice whether it's actually worth it to really learn the command to get like just that much extra damage, because there's enough inputs that you almost have kind of like a bit of a Haohmaru shuffle when you perform it. So I say it is a pretty tough command because it's a down forward, half circle forward, then a reverse DP input backwards. So it's a pretty tough command to do. And also, I'll just give you another warning also that Haohmaru is some primary critical edge. It has really short range. However, if the opponent were to block this move, for instance, then they have to make sure to block the entire string to not end up getting like punished by any part of the string. And as you see, it does a lot of chip damage. But of course, it's not exactly the safest thing to chuck out on the opponent's block either. Next, let's take a look at Haohmaru's soul attack, because he has arguably one of the most unique soul attacks in SoulCalibur 6. Alright, Haohmaru's soul attack is called the 14 slash combo. And you see that big ass string right there, that's the whole 14 slash combo. So let's see, so that's 2, 3, 6. A plus B plus K, A, B, B, K, K, A, B, K, 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 then B plus K, even though I suspect it's more K's than that. I'll just let you know right now, I can't get down the just frame to this, but I'll also let you know that it's probably perfectly fine to just get the normal string with this. The main reason why is because you go into a special mode for Haohmaru called Max Rage if you complete it. Like, I'll show you it right now for instance. As you see right there, the inputs are incredibly lenient with regards to this combo, but the main thing is that you want to just finish the combo by just inputting the buttons, and then you go into this special mode where Haohmaru looks like a red Hulk, and this is the Max Rage mode, which is a special mode just for Haohmaru. Out of Soul Charge, Haohmaru has a few interesting moves. For instance, his AAB ends up getting an augment with AABB. And if you press forward, you could even go into the Warrior's Focus stance. So AAB is normally ended in a heavy slash, but getting that little extra hit, then getting a little extra hit, then be able to go into the Warrior's Focus allows you to put a bit more pressure. In fact, I think majority of the heavy slashes do get some sort of augment. For instance, 2B plus K gets a B follow-up, and 6B plus K also gets the same B follow-up. That can also go into the Warrior's Focus stance. Haohmaru's special moves, so his Ronin techniques also get a bit of a buff in Soul Charge also. Like you see that the Cyclone Slash projectile or the Fireball becomes a two-hit projectile. If you do 6-2-3 or forward down forward, then you would end up getting a powered up DP move or Dragon Punch move right there, the Rent and Tremor Slash, which ends up flipping the opponent over to the other side. So the Eruption Slice, A plus B. It ends up becoming now a break attack. So this move's already a pretty deadly vertical attack. And also, let's see, the B plus K move now becomes an armor move. And if this move were to get blocked, like I could just show you right now for instance. You see, when this move gets blocked, not only does it force crouch, but it doesn't stagger, so this move just becomes kind of ridiculous under Soul Charge. So it's an armor move, meaning that if the opponent attacks into you, it'll it'll beat them out. And it still does a tremendous amount. It does a tremendous amount of chip damage, and it's just a really crazy move under Soul Charge. A couple more interesting moves out of Soul Charge is the While Rising B move, which is already good. Ends up getting additional follow-ups. So right there is While Rising B, K, then BB. And you also can get this off of 623 or forward, down, down, forward, or just DPK. Right, so and you end up getting like a lot of chip damage if you were to do this on an opponent's block, for instance. You can also get the string off of 66B, K, then BB. And now again for Haohmaru special mode, Max Rage. Alright, in this mode, Haohmaru ends up activating when Haohmaru is at low health, so approximately less than a third or around less than 30%. Like there's a little marker on the health gauge, so you know when your health gauge turns yellow, then you'll enter into Max Rage mode. In this mode, Haohmaru gains access to another special move. Well, his weapon flip move from Samsho, the Flame of the Conqueror. This is 6A plus B plus K. And right there, it does a lot of damage and smacks the opponent across the room, although it ends up using up your Max Rage. You can also input it with 236B plus K for increased damage. Alright, this isn't as obnoxious as the special CE input, so I do recommend using this version as opposed to doing it the 6A plus B version, 6A plus B plus K version. Along with having access to the Flame of the Conqueror super move, under Max Rage, Haohmaru gets increased strength. And he also gets other perks such as his DP move, the Crescent Moon Slash, ends up being stronger, and it gets a lethal hit condition if it ends up connecting on an opponent that ends up missing an attack, for instance. Alright, so now you're under Max Rage, so your health is under 30%. If you were to enter Soul Charge while in this mode by inputting 4A plus B plus K and holding it down, you now go into Haohmaru's Super Saiyan mode, basically called Rage Explosion, which is reminiscent of the super state in Samsho. Alright, in this state you get access to all of your normal Soul Charge moves, although one of your strings or strings of this type end up getting a bit of an augment. That is the 66BK string. So now you get an additional strike at the end. It's right there with 66BK So it's the same as if you were to do While Rising B, K, then B, 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 and you get that massive break attack at the end. And same with 623 K, B, B, B. So any versions of those strings, and you get that massive break attack at the end of the string. But now under Rage Explosion, you still get access to the Rage of the Conqueror super move. But under Rage Explosion, you gain access to an incredibly powerful ultimate technique for Haohmaru that's called Isin, and his version is called the Lightning Blade. It's inputted with 4A plus B plus K. It's an incredibly powerful super move with a lot of range, and it's super fast. You can punish a lot of ridiculous stuff with that move, and right there. The damage you get is actually based on how much of the meter is left, because it still uses your Soul Charge meter. If you do it like really early on, you get like almost 100 damage, so you get 98 or 99 damage. But if you were to do it like right at the end, you would only get 50 damage, for instance. So that's the same mind game as there is in Samsho, where the earlier you do Isin, the more damage you get. But of course, when you're in Rage Explosion, the opponent basically has to respect this stance. So you can feel free to be a bit more aggressive in it and try and force the opponent to push buttons, which you can then punish with the Lightning Blade. Haohmaru has a special command throw that can be inputted only while in Rage Explosion. It's out of the Warrior's Focus, so 6B plus K, and then just press the throw button. Looks like this. It deals tremendous damage and is unbreakable. Oh, and also, when you go into Rage Explosion, you lose your little rage icon to the top left because you can only use Rage Explosion once in an entire match. So use it wisely. Haohmaru brought over a couple defensive techniques over from Samsho. His 236A plus B Deflect and his 4A plus B Spot Dodge. You normally don't have spot dodges in 3D fighters, but Haohmaru brought his over. Alright, I'm going to demonstrate the stagger into, the stagger cancel into a deflect by putting B plus K on Mitsurugi's block. And you see, if you deflect something, you get a free B plus K lethal hit, which ended up ruining Mitsurugi's armor. And now I'll show you the spot dodge. You see right there, you end up sidestepping the attack, and then you end up sidestepping any high or mid attack, and then you end up getting that break attack. Be careful of using that move against like extended like AAA strings, because then occasionally you can't get stuffed while doing it. And I'll let you know that the timing for both 236 A plus B and 4 A plus B can be a little tight. I mean, the timing is still somewhat similar to a normal GI, but just let you know that it's not the biggest window, so you can't really just mash it out like too freely. Like, you do have to try and line it up with you do have to try and time it with the opponent's attack. Alright guys, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me on this Haohmaru journey. Alright, I'd just like to once again would like to thank Smart Esports and TrollCoin for endorsing this video. And as always, if you like this video, smash that like button. If you didn't like this video, just hit the like button even harder, and don't forget to subscribe for more juicy 3D fighter content. Like, I have character guides now for almost half of the SoulCalibur 6 cast. And I also would like to take this moment to thank my premium top tier fighters for their continued support, which I do appreciate. If you'd like to become a premium top tier fighter, then click on the Patreon link down below. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You can also contact Force Nature on 8-Way Run. But yeah, anyways, this is Force Nature signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time on Top Tier Tips.